Hello friends, welcome to the new episode of The Root Cause. In the previous episodes, we discussed about astrology. We discussed about the logic as to what causes the zodiacs, the expansion of the rasa because of the heat and the contraction of the rasa because of the cold weather in the same day because of the day and night, and in the different months also because of summer and winters. So which creates different layers and they get exposed and they create different doshas in our body. Okay, so in this episode, we will be going deeper into zodiacs and explain them one by one, and we'll also touch upon the planets. To begin with, we need to discuss a little about planets because the zodiacs, the different doshas that get created in different zodiacs because of the movement of Earth around Sun, they have similar energies as different planets do in astrology. That's why let's talk about the planets and then we'll talk about the zodiacs, which are owned by different planets. Let's begin. We've already spoken about moon in the previous episodes. We already know that sun is definitely not a planet, but in astrology it's understood as a planet, and it's the hottest, and it is the one which is giving power to the entire universe. I'm talking about the solar system only, our world. Now let's go to Mars. If we look at the characteristic of Mars, let's remember Yat Pind Tat Brahmand philosophy before we move further. Whatever lies in the microcosm is there in the macrocosm, and vice versa. Whatever looks in the microcosm has a similar looks and characteristics in the macrocosm, and vice versa. So let's talk about Mars as a planet. Mars is a red planet, we all know, and I'm sure we can understand it must be having some gravitational impact on Earth, okay, and definitely gravitational impact on the solar flares. Okay, while I may not be able to exactly pinpoint how the planets other than moon and sun, which is very obvious, which we've discussed the signs also, but we may not be able to exactly express or explain that how different planets are working on our body. But if you look at their traits, you will get to know what kind of doshas they must be producing. The combination of doshas, Vat, Pitta and Kapha. So we discussed about Mars. Mars is a red planet. It's not very, very hot in nature as compared to Saturn and Jupiter. Okay, and if you go inwards, we have Venus and we have Mercury. Mercury is the closest to Sun, and it's moving very, very quickly around Sun. Okay, very, very quickly. That's why Mercury also represents the nervous system. If you look at our nervous system, we have current flowing and we have insulation around it. It's very thin. Okay, nervous system is supposed to be very, very thin in nature, and then you have insulation around it. So Mercury is representing our senses, which are controlled by our nervous system only. It's like this, and Mercury literally moves like this only, very quickly. Then we go outwards, we have Venus. Venus or Shukra Graha is very hot, very dense, very acidic in nature. So acidic and dense, in fact so dense that even the sunlight is not able to penetrate through it. Okay. In astrology, it is said that sun becomes debilitated in Venus's zodiac. It is because the Venus's zodiac is so dense that sun's pitta or light is not able to travel. We'll come to that later. Let's understand the doshas first of the different planets. Let's go beyond Mars. we go to Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, and it is quite hot, very hot inside, and cold, but it's the largest one. And then we go farther, and then we have Saturn, which is again very, very cold from outside and very hot from inside. It's not as big as Jupiter. We will not be touching the farther planets here. We will discuss them subsequently, because those planets like Pluto, the Pluto and Uranus and all, they have impact more on the global events. So let's talk about these 7 planets, including Sun. We are calling Sun as a planet. We are calling Moon also as a planet here. From what I understand, from whatever studies I have done, I feel that the solar flares which are generated from the Sun, they are coming as electromagnetic flares only. They are the ones which are getting governed because of the gravitational forces of these planets. Okay. About Moon we've already discussed. Moon governs the water element in the body. Now let's talk about 2 more planets which as of now Western astrology has not been speaking about. These are called as Rahu and Ketu. These are extremely important planets. These are shadowy planets because they are not physical bodies, but they are mathematical calculations which create specific points in the space. So what happens is that after every 6 months, I'll be displaying the figures here. From those figures you can understand that how Rahu and Ketu get created. But just to have the essence, Rahu is like the top of the fountain. Rahu is like this, it's the top of the fountain, and Ketu is bottom of the fountain, where everything is like this. The water is inwards and slightly quiet and inwards. Another example could be that Rahu can be understood as a vessel. We discussed the example of vessel with heat burning, the Agni heating our rasa. So Rahu can be understood as a vessel with no lid or less of lid, and Ketu can be understood as a vessel with a tight lid, like pressure cooker. So Ketu is like this, and Rahu is, in Rahu people the conscience moves up. Okay, so what happens is that you got Sun, you got Earth, and then you got Moon. Sun and Earth, they are on one plane only. However, Moon is not exactly on this plane. Moon is slightly tilted by around 5 degrees. Okay, so if this is Sun, this is Earth, and Earth is moving around the Sun on this particular plane, then Moon is not exactly on this plane around Earth. Moon is slightly like this, slightly tilted 5 degrees. As a result, Moon does not always come in between Sun and Earth. But there are 2 times in a year when Moon exactly comes in between Sun and Earth. That's because the movement of Moon today, if the movement of the Moon around Earth is like this, then after a few months, if it's like this, then you can see that the Moon is coming in between Earth and Sun. Okay, and it will come 6 months later also here. So you can see that in the diagram which I've put here on the screen. As a result, there are times when the rasa, because Moon is governing the rasa in our body, the fluids in our body. So as a result, the gravitational pull becomes very, very high during certain times of the year. Okay. However, because this rotation is happening of the moon around Earth all the time, it's creating a bit of upsurge in the rasa of the body. Okay. Let's suppose sun is here, earth is here, moon may not be precisely here, but it will be somewhere here, let's suppose. So it will multiply some effect of the gravity. So what will happen? If the moon is pushing rasa, if the gravitation of the moon is pushing rasa and the sun is also helping it by multiplying in the gravity, then it will become, instead of like this, it will become like this. So it keeps varying in the entire 12 months. And that is what causes upsurge of the rasa in our body or inwardness of the rasa. And these are called as Rahu and Ketu. Okay, so that much about the planets. Now let's come to the zodiacs. We spoke that there are 12 zodiacs, 12 months. Sun spends 1 month in each zodiac, and that's how it is creating different doshas. Let's begin from 15th of March till 15th of April. Please remember, these are thumb rules. The season has been changing because of the wobbling of Earth. We will talk about it some other time, but let's understand the essence of this, of what creates zodiacs. Okay, so what happens is, in the preceding months, if you talk about January, February, when there is cold in the northern hemisphere, then the rasa has gone inwards, and 15th of March onwards, the rasa starts coming out. So the inner strength is springing out, and that is what is causing Mars. Okay, there is mild redness, the inner Mars, it's called as inner Mars also, the inner strength. So it's all coming out in form of leaves and all, and in our body also. Then what happens? In the next month, 15th of April till 15th of May, this rasa has further expanded, and the kapha which was stored inside our body during the winter months has started moving out, and we become stronger. Earlier we were more philosophical during the winter months, okay, because we had gone inwards. We were thinking inwards. And then in the third month, third zodiac. Okay, so this zodiac, the second zodiac, is owned by Venus. If you go deeper, if I go deeper into explaining why each zodiac is owned by a specific planet, I may not be able to cover it in one go. I would request you to go through the book and you will understand the logic. But here I'm just switching over to the third month. In the third month, you see the temperature is further rising in the month of June, and it becomes like this. The Vat Pit increases. So in this particular month, there is quickness happening in our thinking pattern because of this. So this particular month is owned by Mercury to some extent, and it is also owned by Rahu. Not too many people talk about it, but it's also owned by Rahu. Let's come to the fourth month. In the fourth month, the rains begin. The Cancer zodiac, Kark Rashi, the rains begin. And when the rains begin, the temperature starts dropping, the rasa starts going down. And that is why this is owned by Moon. By the end of the month, the rasa becomes very cold and it goes towards the lower body. Okay, that is why these 4 months starting from Leo are called as Chaturmas, which I've explained in the previous episodes also. The fifth zodiac, that is the Leo, is owned by Sun. Why? Because the weather has become very, very clear. The rains have almost ceased to exist, and the sunlight is very, very strong. It's falling on our body, so it's Leo. Okay, it's a very focused, clear approach. And then we come to the sixth zodiac, which is owned by Mercury, which is Virgo. Why it is called as now I said that third zodiac is also, that is Gemini, is also owned by Mercury, and sixth zodiac is also owned by Mercury. But the difference is the sixth zodiac or the Virgo is the main zodiac of Mercury. Why? Because in this particular zodiac, the rasa is not so much expanded. Rasa is inwards, and the pitta is moving inwards, outwards, inward, outwards, because of the effect of Leo. So a very clear-cut communication is happening in our body. Okay, and this is also the time in astrology when, or in Vedic sciences, when you get into those periods when you start praying your ancestors and all, which is called a Shraddh, because the Mercury becomes so strong that your entire Muladhara chakra becomes open, and Muladhara chakra is the one which is storing the memories of your ancestors, the DNAs. So all the DNA that is stored in your body gets active, and this is the time when you should be doing prayers, you should be remembering God, you should be doing good things, you should be helping others, so that it gets ingrained in your DNA also. Okay, now let's go to the seventh zodiac, Libra. In Libra, the temperature is again further dropping. Okay, because now the sun, because of the Earth's tilt on its axis, is now going towards the southern hemisphere. It's getting closer to the southern hemisphere. So what happens during this time is that the rasa is inwards, but it's hot also. Okay, because of the preceding months, the heat of the preceding months, and then that is the reason it signifies Venus. It is owned by Venus. Okay. Eighth is owned by Mars. I'm keeping the video short, so I'm just running a little faster. Eighth is also owned by Mars, and that's the outer Mars. Ninth is owned by Jupiter, and ninth zodiac is the main zodiac of Jupiter, because Jupiter is expansion. So in this particular month, there is heat internally. However, because of the eighth zodiac, the body has started expanding. Eighth zodiac also represents outer mass. It is watery mass. It also represents testosterone. So it starts expanding. It pushes the blood towards our muscles, the rasa towards our muscles. So we are expanding after that. Okay. So ninth zodiac begins, which is Jupiter, and Jupiter is expansion. And then comes the 10th and 11th zodiac. In 10th and 11th zodiac, you have Saturn becomes the owner of these zodiacs, because during Saturn you start constricting inwards, especially during the 11th zodiac. During the 10th zodiac, you still have the expanded stage of the Jupiter, the 9th zodiac. Here, Vat and Kapha both are there in the Capricorn. But when you come to Aquarius, which is the 11th zodiac, the blood has gone too inwards, and there is heat inside our body, but less of heat outside your body. It starts becoming cold and dry, exactly which is there in the Saturn's case also. And then the 12th zodiac, Pisces, which is again owned by Jupiter. 12th zodiac is a very spiritual zodiac, while in case of 9th zodiac, you have a lot of focus on things. You are expanded, you have a wider horizon, but you have Pitta also. It's like Kapha and Pitta both. But when it comes to the 12th zodiac, it's a very spiritual zodiac, because it has come after a lot of introversion and the philosophy during the inner months of Saturn. So that is why 12th zodiac, and that is why 12th zodiac in a specific soul group is also considered the most evolved zodiac of that particular group. It's just a thumb rule. So that much about zodiac and planets in today's video. Hope you liked it. Request you to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. God bless.